Namaskar. Good morning. Welcome to today's yoga practice session. At the onset, let us all be thankful to His Excellency Shri Manu Mahawar, Shri Rakesh Adlekha, Mr. D.K. Prakash, Mr. Anuj, Mr. Chandan Singh, and Ms. Ruby of Indian Embassy for providing this beautiful platform to conduct these sessions for the benefit of all. So, today's medium of communication will be English primarily, but if naturally I slide or glide into Hindi, my mother tongue, please accept it. Three things: the mother, the motherland, and the mother tongue. These are integral of us. At any time they can express to us. Today we are meeting in this format for some special reasons, which is, we know, is COVID-19, coronavirus. As Shri Shyamji Gupta, the famous social reformist of Ekal Adhyaan, says, this corona is actually Karuna Avatar. It has taught us Karuna, compassion towards ourselves, people around us, and even towards Mother Nature. So, we are able to meet in this format, sitting here. So far, I am in your house, I have come to you. So, we have to thank those scientists, technologists, engineers, because of whose hard work this has been made possible. Now, since I have come to your house, and if somebody comes to our house, and that to our own, we cannot be formal. So today's our session will be informal. We'll just try to make it as useful as possible and as enjoyable as possible. So when we say yoga, yoga is a beautiful, comprehensive life manual which gives us techniques to live the life to the fullest and in the best possible manner. One definition says, Yoga Karamshu Kaushalam. That means it enables me to do my duty or any action in the most perfect and efficient manner. Now, this beautiful science and art of living has been given to us by our forefathers. So let's all be deeply indebted to all the gurus, rishis, maharishis, teachers, instructors, granths, books, which has helped us to learn and practice this beautiful science of yoga. On personal level, I am very grateful and deeply indebted to my spiritual guru, Grandmaster Choco Tsui, my teaching institution, Kaivalya Dham Lonavala, India, my yoga gurus, Dr. N. Ganesh Rao, Shri Amit Sharma, and of course my fellow practitioners who always help me in practicing and in progressing. So in order to make our practice more beneficial, let us start our session with a small prayer. It basically means that let us all walk in unison, talk in harmony, and let our minds be fresh and as equanimous as anything is in the beginning, and all our sacred endeavors be blessed with divinity. So I will say it and I'll give a little gap so that you can repeat after me. Hands in Namaskar Mudra. Om Sangachattvam Samvadatvam Samvo Manasi Janatam Deva Bhagam Yatha Purve Sanjanana upasate Sanjanana upasate Sanjanana we start the practice, we will have few considerations. As we all know, we should be empty stomach, we should not be sick, we should not be weak, and females should not be during their periods. Now, the yoga is a very comprehensive thing, as Maharishi Patanjali has compiled it into Ashtanga. Today, we will be doing only 3 of them, the Yogasana, the Pranayama, and a little bit of Dhyana. We will try to devote time equally to these 3. So many of us, not us, but people who don't practice yoga, consider yoga as a physical fitness program. It's actually 1 to 2 hours on the mat that we practice yoga. And even during the remaining 22 to 23 hours, the yoga has to be practiced and followed. So, the initial things, as we're talking, we should not be weak, we should not be sick, we have to be empty stomach. And then, please do not push yourself, listen to your body, respect your limits. No speed, no jerks. These are few things. When we fold our body, we exhale. When we stretch out, we inhale. So let's get going. Before we do anything, we should always prepare ourselves. So we'll do some loosening exercises. We'll start from the top and go to the bottom. Let's start with the eyes. Keep your feet shoulder width apart. That's the natural dimension given by the God. Hands on the waist, very comfortable position, standing position. So rotate your eye balls 2 times anti-clockwise and 2 times clockwise. We are doing a shorter version because we are a bit short of time. Now, with your fingertips, gently pinch your upper eye bone and the lower eye bone. This stimulates the blood supply and the nerves serving the eyes. Eyes are the organs which we use from the moment we wake up till we sleep, and we forget to take care of our eyes. Rub your palms, produce some nice heat, and keep your palms on your eyes. After the eyes, it's neck. So we will exhale and bend forward. Then we inhale and stretch backwards. One more time. Sideways dropping. Sideways turning. Let the neck be aligned with the shoulder. Usually we should do it 4 to 5 times. Today we are doing a little less. So neck rotation, people with cervical spondylitis or vertigo, dizziness should do it carefully or can avoid this. One nice big circle with the neck, anti-clockwise, then clockwise, one more anti-clockwise, and clockwise. After the neck, it's the shoulders. Bend your hands. Now join the elbows in the front, take them up towards the roof, completely back, down. This is one circle. Let's do one more circle. Very good for frozen shoulder. Helps to avoid cervical spondylitis. Change the direction. You should do 4 to 6 times. Today we are doing only 2 times. The next, for the people who use a lot of computers or mobile phones, extend your hands. The palms are pulled back. Drop down. Backwards, once more, After this, little bit of upper body movement. Interlock your fingers, hands inside out, keeping the lower part of the body as it is. Try to go to the right as much as possible. Keep looking at the back of your palms and come back. To the left. Come back. Again to the right. And to the left. Come back. Side stretching. Bring the feet together. Right hand out. Turn it upside down. Take the hand over the head and stretch. It's extreme stretching of side, so do it carefully. Keep looking straight. The left hand is hanging loose. Come back. With the left hand. Usually all the yogasana practices, we start from the right side. This is just to keep a uniformity and easy to remember. Hip rotation, open your feet, double the shoulder width. Now keeping the head stable, rotate the middle part of the body 2 times anti-clockwise and then 2 times clockwise. Usually we should do it 6 to 8 times. Now the knee joint, so raise your knee up, extend and bend, extend and bend. Do not kick, very smooth rhythmic movement. Try to touch your heel to the hip. Now raise your left hand and pull back your thigh. Down, the other knee, extend, bend, look straight, don't look down. The usual position of our head is the chin should be parallel to the ground always when we are sitting, standing. Now hold the left ankle and stretch backwards nicely. Down. The ankle joint, let's stretch ankle 1, 2, 3, 4, rotate anti-clockwise and then clockwise. The other ankle. Rotation. And that's it. So now all the parts of the body, joints, muscles are activated, and unknowingly we have done one more good thing to the body. All the energy centers or chakras have been activated and balanced. So we are ready for any physical as well as meditative practice. So let's start with the first asana, the standing asana. It's Tadasana. So bring your feet closer. The heels are together. The toes are open. Interlock your fingers. People with cardiac conditions, please do not lift your heels. People with vertigo, do it carefully. So, up. Now lift your heels as much as you can. People who have been practicing can look up at the back of the palm without losing the balance. Very good asana for stability, for improving the pose. Opens the energy channels, the spinal nerves. Heels down, relax. One more time. Block your fingers, hands up. It's believed that we should usually hold the final position for 20 seconds. We can start with 5, gradually improve and take it to 20 seconds. And down. The next asana is Vrikshasana. So we will stand on one feet, the other leg either can be over the knee or it can be at the base of the leg or the perineum. Hands on the side, take them up, put the hands up, palms are together, hands are pulled up, hold it for count of 5 at least, and then slowly down. So while we should hold the final position for 20 seconds, it's believed that the required effect of pulling, pressing comes only when we hold the final position for 20 seconds. So gradually improve your final position timing up to 20 or 30 seconds. Vrikshasana, very good for balance, very good for neuromuscular coordination, very good to improve your willpower. And down. The next asana which we'll do is called Trikonasana. Open your feet. Little bit double the shoulder width, hands on this side. Now take the right foot out, for you it's the other side. Left foot in, so you make a right angle to give stability to the body. Now we'll go down on this side. Slowly. If you can go up to here, it's fine. Take the support of your leg. People who have cardiac conditions, please do not raise your hands. People who have vertigo, please don't look up. Otherwise, you look up and look at your index finger of the left hand. And slowly come back. Now left foot out, right foot in. We go to the side. Look up, hold the position nicely for a count of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 seconds as per your capacity. Listen to your body, respect your limits. So with that we finish with the standing asanas. Now we will sit down. So sit with your legs extended in the front. It's called Vishramasana. Hands are pointing away from the body. Up to the elbow, it's touching the body. The spine is straight. The neck is gently dropped backwards. Eyes are nicely closed. Very good asana for relaxation. The prana or the life force follows the thought. So we should take our attention to those parts of the body which get stretched, pulled, pressed, to relax them, to regenerate them. The next asana from here we do is called Paschimottanasana. Join your feet, bring your body forward. Inhale, lift the hands up. Now exhale completely and bend forward. People with abdominal issues or with low back pain should avoid it. Now exhale and try to go forward as much as possible. Head and hands together. People with stiff back, if they can go up to here, it's fine. Slowly try to improve. With each inhalation, pull the body. With each exhalation, go forward. And hold your big toes. Initially, you may be able to do it with your legs slightly bent. That's okay. Slowly, you should make your legs straight and try to touch your head to the knees. It will come over a period of time, not in 1 or 2 sessions. Inhale and come up. Hands down nicely. One more time. Raise your hands, inhaling and exhale completely. Forward. Hold both the toes. Head down. And slowly come up. The next asana which we'll do is called Vajrasana. People with ankle issues, knee pain or piles should avoid doing it. Fold the right leg Bring it under your seat nicely. The other leg. And sit comfortably between the heels in the nice cushion created by the feet. The hands are on upper thighs, shoulders are naturally open. Neck muscles relaxed, facial muscles relaxed. Eyes are nicely closed. In all the sitting and lying asanas in the final position, we should close our eyes, breathe normally, and be aware and be observant of our body and mind. Very good asana for digestive system. Very good asana for thighs and calf muscles. The back naturally becomes upright. The spine comes in its natural curvature. Advised to do after the meals also. Helps to digest food easily and quickly. Let's go to the next asana. It is called Purnustrasana. Little bit interesting and challenging. I will show you from this side so that you can understand better. The feet are, or the knees are shoulder width apart. Hands in the front. People with any abdominal issues or back pain or even headache or neck issues, do it carefully or avoid doing it. Now, looking at your right hand, take it nicely over your head and hold the right ankle. Stabilize your body. Once you feel you are stable, take the left hand. Now, drop the neck, lift the body up and push it forward. Very good asana for the entire body, right from the toes to the eyes to the head. For the chest, for the lower back, for the shoulders, for the thighs, for the back. Excellent. Slowly come back. Left hand first and the right hand. If you feel any dizziness, you may please sit down for a while. One more time. Right hand, stability, left hand, neck dropped, eyes closed, breathe normally, lift the body up, push it forward. Bring the left hand, then the right hand and sit down. Here, gently rotate your shoulders because we loaded them extensively and back to front. Let's come out of Vajrasana. For doing this, slightly bring your body forward, right hand on the floor, release your left leg and then the right leg. From here, we will do the next asana, which is called Vakrasana. It's easy, but more beneficial and more interesting. So bring the body forward, bend the right leg, the right ankle is next to the left knee. Keep the body closer to the knee. Raise right hand, inhale, pull the body up. Take it behind your back, right in the middle. Raise the left hand. Take it to the right of the right knee. Make a nice fulcrum. Now turn the upper body and look back. Very good asana for the abdominal area. Very good asana for diabetes. And slowly head back. Release the left hand. Right hand and the right leg. Let's do it on the other side. Now I will do it from the front so that we can see the front position as well. Inhale. Right hand up. Across the left knee. Bring the neck forward. Release the right hand. With this, we finished the sitting asanas. Now let's go into the prone position, that is onto the belly. The first asana is called Makrasana. Open the legs comfortably. The left palm, the right palm, and the back of the palm resting on the back of the right palm. Very good relaxation position for physical as well as mental relaxation. Great stress buster. Lowers the blood pressure almost instantaneously. One of the only positions where back has no load at all. So it's very good for all back issues. Very good for PMS, post-menses symptoms, but should not be done during periods. The next asana which we are doing is called Bhujangasana. So join the feet, the palms close to the armpits, elbows are lifted towards the roof, chin on the ground. People with migraine or headache or any abdominal issues, neck issues, please avoid doing it. Inhale. Without straightening the elbows, lift the body up to the navel. Look up with eyes closed. Facial muscles relaxed. Breathe normally. And slowly down. Relax. Today we are talking only practice, not much of theory. We just trying to learn how to do. One more time, inhale. And slowly come back. The next asana which you are doing is called Dhanurasana. Again, interesting and very beneficial. People with abdominal issues, hernia, migraine, headache, please avoid it. So fold your legs from the knees, hold the respective ankles. First try to lift the thighs. Once that happens, inhale and lift the upper body. Breathe normally. Facial muscles relaxed, neck muscles relaxed. Very good asana for the entire body. And slowly come down. We'll do it once more. People who are unable to lift the thighs can make a roller or roll with the towel or bedsheet and keep it under the thighs so that forcefully the thighs are lifted. Lift the thighs first, inhale. Hold the position for a count of 5, 10, or as per your capacity. And slowly come down. Go in Makrasana for a couple of seconds. With that, we have finished the prone position asanas. Now we will go on to the supine position. That means onto the back. Please turn your body and lie on the back. The first asana is called Setu Bandhasana. Setu means bridge. So we are forming a bridge with our body. Fold both the legs. Keep the soles of the feet firmly on the ground, the back of the shoulders, the back of the head. Now try to hold the respective ankles. If you cannot, just touch the heels, it's fine. Now we'll inhale and lift the body up. Again, people with hernia, abdominal issues, severe neck pain should avoid. So inhale, lift the body up as much as possible, chin to the chest. Very good asana for thighs, abdomen, very good for the diabetes, very good for the thyroid function. Hold it for a count of 10, 15, 20 and slowly come down. One more time. Inhale, lift the body up. If you have issues with lifting, you can support your back with your hands below. Once you practice for some time, then you will be able to remove your hands and hold the back, same position without the support, and slowly come down. All the immunity system or the body defense system is basically controlled by the organs in the middle part. So that's why you must be seeing that most of our practices today are focused in that region. So the next asana which we are doing is called Pavan Muktasana. So we bend our legs, interlock the fingers, take them all around the legs. Now pressurize the thighs against the abdomen. Press it, nice pressure. Massage of all the abdominal organs. Keep the elbows close to the body, shoulders dropped. Exhale completely and try to lift the upper body as much as possible. Try to touch your chin to the knees. Very good asana for the abdominal organs. Very good asana for releasing the unwanted gases. Slowly head back. And legs released. Let's do it once more. Exhale. Eyes closed, breathe normally. Toes are pointing away from the body. Head down and release the legs. Let's do some free back massage. Let's come to the Pavan Muktasana position and roll the body forward and backward with the head lifted. Make sure the head doesn't bang against the ground. We'll do it 3-4 times. 1, 2, 3, and sit up with the legs bent. Now slowly lower your body with the help of your palms, the elbows, and then slowly straighten your right leg and then the left leg. The last asana which we are doing today is called Anandasana. Some people call it Shavasana. It's okay. Open your legs comfortably. The toes are dropped outwards. The hands are comfortably beside the body, neither too far nor too close. Relax the body. Move the fingers of the feet. Activate the ankle joints, release and relax. Activate the knee joints, release and relax. The calf muscles relax. Pull up the thighs and buttocks. Release, relax. Relax the fingers of the hands. The palms are facing towards the sky. The fingers are half open like a newborn baby. The most relaxing position of the hands. The wrist joints are relaxed. The elbows are relaxed. Gently raise and drop your shoulders. Relax them. I'm breathing normally. My stomach is raising and lowering as I inhale and as I exhale. The neck muscles are relaxed. The facial muscles are relaxed. The eyes are nicely, gently closed. I keep my chin to the chest without much effort. This makes my neck parallel and closer to the ground. This helps in mental relaxation. I take my attention to the tip of the nose and start observing the breath. When I focus at my breathing, naturally the breath slows down. My breath becomes subtle and slower. That makes my mind also peaceful and relaxed. I'm physically and mentally completely relaxed. I'm breathing normally, I'm breathing naturally, and I'm observing my breath, each inhalation, each exhalation. Now let me move my consciousness or my real self out of the body. Now I'm looking at my body nicely resting in the lap of Mother Earth. It's breathing. Everything is happening normally and naturally. And I'm watching it from outside. This watcher, this seer, this drashta, that's the real me, the absolute consciousness. I slowly return to my body. I'm still observing my breath. I move the fingers of my feet and the hands slowly. I join my feet, the eyes are still closed. I turn my body to the right, making my right hand the pillow as we sleep in the bed. The legs are slightly bent. The left hand is all along the body. I'm still relaxing. Now with the support of the left hand and the right hand, get up from the side with eyes closed. Sit up. Massage your palms nicely, feel some heat. Keep them on your eyes. Do not rub the eyes. Just a warm palming. Open your eyes, gently looking at your palms with a gentle smile on the face. So with that, we've finished all the asanas. Now let's go to the second ang or second part, which is called pranayama. For pranayama, we will be just recalling the few important things to be considered. First of all, our body should be insulated or isolated from the ground. Number two, the spine has to be upright. The eyes should be closed because now you will be working on the internal organs or internal systems called Shukshma Sharir. The three most vital organs are the lungs, the heart and the brain. We will not go into the details. The pranayama helps with health of all these three. They are all interlinked. One more thing, our immunity system is controlled by the cortex. And this part of the brain gets greatly benefited by the pranayama practices and by the mantra japa also. So let's start with the first preparatory breathing exercise, which is called Kapalabhati. This is this extensive abdominal breathing. So we'll keep our hands on the knees to stabilize the body. We exhale actively and we inhale passively. This I'll show you 2-3 strokes, then we'll do it together. It should not be very forceful, just enough to blow out the candle. So I exhale. Let the body be stable. So we'll do the first 11 counts. So neck muscles relaxed, facial muscles relaxed. Take a deep inhalation and exhale. One more deep inhalation, and with half exhalation, please start. Inhale and exhale. Initially, you may develop some sweet pain in the abdomen or the lower back. It will go over the period of time. Second cycle, 21 counts. Inhale deeply and exhale. Inhale deeply and with half exhalation, please start. Stop, inhale and exhale completely. We have done hyperventilation of the body. That means we have supplied the body with sufficient oxygen. So if my practice is of good number of strokes, at the end I may not feel like breathing. Enjoy this gap or the no breath period, stoppage of breath, natural kumbha, and relax. So the first pranayama we will do today is Anulom Vilom, also called balancing breathing or Nadi Shodhan. It's very simple. I will just show first cycle, then we will do 2 more cycles and then move forward. The left hand should be in Dhyan Mudra. Dhyan Mudra is first finger, the thumb, tips touching each other. Other 3 fingers together and straight. With the right thumb and the first finger, we will close the nostrils. So when I close with the right thumb, I should be touching the nasal bone also. So I inhale from the left nostril. Hold it. Close the left nostril. And then exhale. Now inhale from the right nostril. Close the right nostril and exhale from the left nostril. Let's do 2 more cycles. The breath should be subtle and gentle. The spine straight, neck muscles relaxed, facial muscles relaxed. Please start. Inhale from the left, close the left nostril, exhale from the right, inhale from the right, close the right nostril, exhale from the left. Inhale from the left, close the left nostril, exhale from the right, inhale from the right nostril, close the right nostril and slowly exhale from the left nostril. Usually we should be doing 5 to 7 cycles. Very good asana, very good pranayama for relaxation of the mind. Now let's go to the next pranayama, which is called Bhramari Pranayama, the natural tranquilizer, very effective for insomnia or the sleep disorders. Very simple, both the hands in Dhyan Mudra, spine upright. We will inhale, and while exhaling, we will produce a bumblebee sound. We will keep the tip of the tongue on the back of the teeth. The sound is It's not ma, it's not na, it's So we'll do only 3 cycles today. You can just watch the first cycle and we do rest together. Inhale. So inhale deeply and start. Inhale deeply and start. You will feel a gentle vibration in your head when you perform Bhramari Pranayama, and with practice, this feeling will be spread across the hands and the entire body. So with that, we finish the pranayams. Now let's move to the third section, which is called meditation or dhyan. Actually, dhyan, we do not do it. It happens. We just prepare the body and mind and we create the favorable conditions. So today what we practice is called visualization meditation. Many of us, we believe that it's a Western technique, but I'm very pleased to inform you that this is a purely Indian technique. There's a reference of this technique in Upanishads, which are thousands of years old. So let's try to practice Dhyana. Those who wear specs can please remove them. Sit comfortably in any cross-leg position. As per your practice, maybe in Ardha Padmasana, Purna Padmasana, or just Sukhasana. Spine upright, eyes nicely closed. Hands can be in Dhyana Mudra on the knees, or they can be in the lap, one over the other, tips of the thumbs touching each other. Relax the body completely, as we did in Anandasana. Do a nice journey from toe to the top of the head. Physically, I am completely relaxed. The only effort I am putting is keeping my back upright and I am breathing. I take my attention to the tip of the nose. And observe the breathing. I am breathing naturally, I am breathing normally. My breath has become subtle and gentle and slow. My mind is relaxed and at peace. It's calm. Feel the lightness of the body. Experience the thoughtlessness of the mind. There are 4 components which are responsible for proper functioning of my body systems and helps to synchronize the systems and to make them function in perfect natural rhythm. These 4 components also strengthen my body defense system. They enhance my immunity. I am observing my breath. I am completely relaxed, physically and mentally. The eyes are nicely closed. Light is not entering my eyes. I take my attention to my Agya Chakra, which is in the middle of the forehead, where we put the tilak or the bindi. It's the seat of wisdom. I commit to myself that I will do at least 30 to 40 minutes of physical exercise almost daily. When I do that, the oxygen supply, the blood supply to each and every cell of my body gets improved. My entire body feels happy, feels healthy. It thanks me. This 30 to 40 minutes of physical exercise could be brisk walking, it could be any sport, or it could be yogas. I take my attention to the crown chakra, which is on top of the head, also called the Brahmarandha, which is the entry point for all spiritual and divine energies. I seek divine blessings to be successful in my commitment to practice physical exercise almost daily. For my mental health, it's important to do meditation or any mental relaxation techniques. I take my attention to my Ajna Chakra and commit to myself that I'll practice at least 5 to 10 minutes of meditation daily to improve my mental health, to make my mind calm and peaceful, to make my mind strong and peaceful. I take my attention to my crown chakra and seek divine blessings to be successful in my commitment to myself to practice meditation almost daily. I am still observing my breath. I am physically and mentally relaxed. I take my attention to my Ajna Chakra and commit to myself that I will be taking healthy foods. As per yoga, it's Mittahar, the balanced diet. Sattvic food, the food which my body digests easily, is sattvic for me. I will increase the intake of natural foods, the plant foods, the salads, the vegetables, the fruits, the nuts, the seeds, more fermented foods, less of junk food, and much reduced intake of sugar, because these affect my immunity system adversely. When I'll have my food, I'll be with myself, because having the meals is like a prayer. So it should be without any disturbance. No watching of any digital systems, no reading, no talking. When I feed myself, I'm only with myself. I take my attention to my crown chakra and seek divine blessings to be successful in my commitment to myself to take healthy food. I'm still observing my breath. I'm mentally and physically relaxed. The rest or proper sleep is very important for my body systems and for my immunity. I take my attention to the Ajna Chakra and commit to myself that I will have my dinner at least 2 hours before I go to the bed. And these 2 hours will be semi-active, not sitting in front of the TV. I will stop at least 1 hour before going to the bed, looking at any digital displays. When I go to the bed, my bedroom is peaceful, quiet and dark. My bed is supported, not too luxurious. The temperature is just normal. Not too cold, not too warm. I go into the bed, adjust my pillows to support my body nicely. Take the comforter and cover my body nicely. And slowly and quickly go into the deep sound sleep. This deep sound sleep helps me to regenerate, recharge, energize my body and mind, so that when I wake up in the morning, I am ready to go, raring to go find myself mentally, physically and emotionally healthy and strong. I take my attention to my crown chakra and seek divine blessings to be successful in all the commitments that I make today, that I'll practice them regularly throughout my life. I'm still relaxed, observing my breath. I'm in state of well-being. I'm in state of delight. I'm in state of bliss. Keep observing the breath. Be completely relaxed, yet stay alert and enjoy. Gently return to your body, move the fingers of the feet and the hands slowly. Eyes are still closed, rub your palms nicely, do some nice heat. Make a dark chamber with your palms in front of your eyes. No light should be visible. Blink your eyes inside the dark chamber. Briskly, 10 to 15 times. Another rub, this time we do the palming of the eyes. Please never rub your eyes. Another rub, this time keep your hands on the ears, gently press the ears and release the pressure. Do it 3-4 times. One more rub, this time for the face. Pull the skin apart or move down to up, defy the aging lines. Another rub for the neck, in the front down to up and in the back nicely. And rub your arms. Now gently open your eyes, looking at your palms with a gentle smile on the face. With that we finished the dhyan or the meditation. Now let's close the session with Shanti Mantra. Shanti Mantra is basically a prayer seeking happiness, healthiness, auspiciousness for everybody, not for me only. And in the end, we seek peace at all the 3 levels, at the individual level, from me within, the world level, the worldly level, and third is supernatural or Daivik. So it's Vyaktik, Bhautik and Daivik. So I'll say it and we'll repeat after me. You can have hands in the Namaskar. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining. Thank you, thank you, thank you. With that, the session comes to an end. Have a nice, beautiful, happy and joyous day. You can stretch out your legs, relax yourself, move the fingers of the feet, flick back your legs, like a football player, shake, shake, shake. So we are ready to go. Thank you once more.